Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Great and Powerful Zilla, and today I'm going to talk to you about this ship right here. This is the Raimondo Montecuccoli Donaz. I'm just going to call it the Alphabet. This is the Alphabet ship. It's a Tier 5 Tech Tree Italian cruiser. You look Tech Tree Early Access right here. It sits at the bottom of what you're able to get. Okay? All right, so what about this ship? Well, it's named after this guy right here. Um, he was a famous Italian general, and he was born in 1609, lived to 1680. Um, he was in the 30 Years' War, part of the Holy Roman Empire, and the whole nine yards, and very famous figure in Italian history. All right. So, what about this ship? Well, it was commissioned in 1935, and in 1937 it went to China. Yeah, I went to China to protect Italian citizens and interests over there. In 1938, it came back into the Mediterranean. World War II broke out and all that nonsense happened. And then in 1942, this ship was attacking convoys headed to Malta. It took shots at the USS Kentucky, which was a tanker. In 1940, in late 1942, the United States Air Force said, "Oh hell no," and they bombed the shit out of it. So it was bombed in Naples in 1942. It was finally repaired. In 1943, it was back in service, but it failed on an attack at Palermo in an attempt to interdict the Allies there. Um, didn't really do anything. And then the Italians surrendered. During the armistice, it was interned. It was returned to the Italian Navy after the war, and it served as a training ship until 1964. And there are parts that it was scrapped in 1965. There are parts of it in a museum at a place called Perugia, Italy. All right, there's an amusement park there, and there's pictures and all kinds of good stuff. So that's the history of the ship. So it was a real ship. It really existed, and it really did things. What do we got in game besides this wonderful barbershop camo, front, fore, and aft? Okay, well, what you got is a ship that has the same kind of cap as I said in the Genova video. It's not survivable at all. It can't really take a hit. Its armor is extraordinarily weak. If you're trying to bow plate, forget about 13 millimeters. It's got a little bit thicker armor on its side. Its armor belt's 60 millimeters for the Citadel, and the Citadel sits up underneath there. So let's see, Citadel. I want that. I want that gone. So that's your Citadel right down there. Okay. All right. But be that as it may, this ship is not about the armor. It has nothing to do with armor. This ship has guns. It's got 6-inch guns. All right. And it's got some pretty darn decent torpedoes. All right. The problem is they're slow. Very slow. They only do 55, well, 50, fairly quick reload, 55 seconds. The torpedo speed, uh, 51 knots. Okay. All right. AA defense, it can take, it can defend itself, but it's not going to hold them off. It's very maneuverable. It's quick. It's 37 knots in a straight line. It turns fairly quickly, and this thing's not hiding from anybody. 11-kilometer detection range. Okay. So what I did was I took the ship into co-op to show you what it can do. It's not a bad cruiser. It's just that SAP round is just wonky. I don't think it's doing what they intended it to do, and it's really kind of disappointing. But Italian ships are pretty much racing yachts with guns. That's basically what they are. All right, on this ship I've equipped main armaments 1, damage control, and aiming systems. All right, it comes with defensive fighter. You can put a spotter on there if you want to. All right, it comes with your smoke generator. All right, this is one thing that makes it unique besides the SAP rounds. This smoke generator operates while you're going full speed. What it does, it bleeds oil into the exhaust, and it creates a smoke cloud. It's pretty good concealment, but it's a get out of jail free card basically. You pop this thing while you're moving at full speed and get away. All right. So that's its shtick. Its shtick is the SAP rounds and the smoke. The SAP rounds are disappointing. God, I see what they were trying to do. I just don't get it. It's not working. I mean, the Nova had 8-inch guns. These are 6-inch guns, and yet the reload time is almost as bad, 14 seconds for a 6-inch gun. Yeah, rather disappointing DPM wise. All right, so let's get into that co-op battle. It's a rather long one, and you can see how I handle the Genoa, or not Genova. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. The alphabet ship, this one, okay, the pasta ship, and we'll talk to you then. All right, let's look what we got here. We got me and one other human on this team, and the rest are all bots. And I'm looking across the way, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do against that? Honestly, a lot of foreboding here, because I've played this ship quite a bit, and I know what it's capable of doing and what it can't. And I'm looking at those big hog mollies, and I'm like, I don't know. So we're going to head on off to the bottom cap. I'm not sure. I can't see, but I think that's either A or C. B is in the middle, so we're heading to the south one, and we're going to take a look and see what's over there. As I said, the ship is fairly quick. It does 30 plus 37 knots in a straight line, which is pretty fast for its tier. Remember, this is just a tier 5. You know, you're not sailing the Conqueror here. You're not on a Des Moines. This is a little Italian cruiser with a couple of gimmicks, one of which does not work in my opinion. All right. So, we're going to go straight in. Yeah. Waiting. Let's get there. You can't teleport there. You can't warp there. But as far as ships go, this one's pretty fast for its tier. So, can't complain that way. But it can get you in trouble too. So they start to pop up on the screen, and I'm like, do I want to shoot right now? Because generally speaking, in co-op, the first person to shoot is the person who gets focused on by the enemy team. All right. So there's an Emile Bertin right there, and he's well within my range. I'm like, I want to shoot that guy. Yeah. I see I'm detected, so I might as well shoot anyway. But then this Minikaze pops up. So I'm going to take a couple shots at him. Now, SAP, for all I complain about it, it does actually work fairly well against destroyers. If you can aim correctly, which apparently today I can't. But somebody knocked his engine out, and I did some damage to him. So they took him out, and I'm going to focus on that Bertin. Again, I'm still firing SAP. Barely missed those torpedoes there. Whew, close one. A little bit of pucker factor there. I seem to be falling behind on my shots, so I got to give more lead to those shots. And if I don't slap and slow down, okay, those torpedoes ran out. I was about to say if I didn't stop or slow down, those torpedoes would hit me. I'm still shooting at the Bertin, and there's a Congo. Or a König. I think that's a König. Shoot again. Build that speed back up. It doesn't accelerate very fast, so maybe propulsion might be an option for you on your modules. For this ship, if you choose to put modules on the ship. It's tier 5, so you're not going to be in it so long before you get to tier 6. And I continue to just try and throw SAP at this thing, and it keeps ricocheting and bouncing. And this is where you miss that HE round, because SAP doesn't start fires if it shatters or not. It just bounces off. So essentially it's for nothing. And with the 14-second, 15-second reload time, it kind of hurts, right? So I'm trying like crazy to catch this battleship. I believe that's a Congo. We've capped the bottom one, so I'm going to move up into the middle one. And you see both teams are evaporating at pretty much the same rate. My human competitor in the Genova has been deleted, so I am the only human left. That means that if I get sunk, this game's going to end in a draw, which is the same as a loss. So I have to stay alive above everything else. In order for me to win this, I have to stay alive. Alright? So, I'm going to slow it down so I don't run into our battleship here. The Piotr Veliki. It's a make-believe Russian battleship. Yay! Alright, and we're going to move forward again. Trying to keep as angles as I can. Not that it matters, because if he got one solid shot on me, I'd be done. Fire, I extinguish right away on a cruiser this light, and with such little health that it has total, I'm going to mitigate as much damage as I possibly can. I'm still throwing SAP, trying my best to make something happen over there. I am racking up some damage, but honestly, if this were a random, I'd probably be dead by now. You know? He goes around the corner, gets stuck on an island. Bots do that sometimes. So I'm going to get a couple of good shots into his broadside. Not that it would really matter at this range whether I'm firing AP or whether I'm firing SAP. It doesn't really matter. At this range, you've got as good a shot as anybody at penetrating the armor. And I see that Emil Bertin is turned around. He's come back. So the Piotr's going to do something weird for a bot. Piotr actually does a good job for a bot. But I'm not going to compliment him, so his karma's not going to go. But he's in a position where I can't fire my torps. But what he does is he rams the Emil Bertin, right? Then he backs off a little bit, and he shoots at... He's giving full broadside to that Congo. But he's shooting at it. I'm shooting at it. But there's company coming. So I fire off torpedoes. Congo moves out of the way. He avoids my torps. I'm looking at two very angry battleships coming this way, but their guns aren't pointing at me. So I'm going to pop that smoke screen. Now watch what happens. It creates an excellent smoke screen, and you don't have to lose any speed. You can continue to go the same speed. I'm going to fire off torps at that Congo, but he's going to die to fire anyway. So that bot killed two birds with one stone. It's pretty good. But look at that smoke screen. That's a neat gimmick. I like that. Okay? And it helps me escape because I got two battleships bearing down on me. One good hit from any one of those two battleships and I'm done. Put a fork in me. I'm done. Alright? So, we're going to fire off torps again. Just desperately trying to keep them at bay, get them off me. They're pointing at me and it's making me very, very nervous. It doesn't take much to kill these ships, guys. Alright, you're very squishy. If you know that, then you know what you got to do to survive. Now, way up north, you will see a battleship heading this way. That's one of ours. And it's in New York. It's very slow. Alright. The question is, can Zilla live long enough for that New York to get involved in the fight? Because once he does, those two bots are going to focus fire on him instead of me. Alright. But now there's only one bot. So I fire off torpedoes again. I think as soon as I come around this corner, I'm going to fire those torps off. Now, I'm in a position right now, if I die again, in co-op, if you're the only human and you die, it ends in a draw, and it's the same as a loss. Okay? I cannot stand toe-to-toe with with that battleship. Look at what just happened to me. I cannot stand toe-to-toe with that battleship, and I'm out of smoke. So I've got to get behind cover. I've got to run. The old saying, battlefield's full of dead heroes, the graveyard's full of dead heroes. The coward survives. Right? Well, call me a coward. Because my objective here is to win. And to win, I have to live. So I'm going to go into the B cap. Knowing that he's coming around that island, I want to try and get as much of that B cap done and be headed north before he rounds the corner of that island. But it turns out he wasn't interested in me that much anyway. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. I start to cap. And he's going to pop up right there. And he disappears. He went behind the island. But so did I. So he's going to reappear on the other side of the island. Going to throw torps out that way. Haven't hit a single torp. Not yet, anyway. And I'm going to bank it around because I'm trying to cap. New York is slowly plodding its way south. And I'm going to put some distance between me and him. And you might be, well, that's a bot. Again, if I die, and I'm a one-shot kill for him, if I die, I lose. If I live, I win. Look at the score, 500 plus to 150. So he's going to go and try and cap A. Meanwhile, this little bunny is going north. Ooh, look, 2 torpedoes. Yay, and a flag. Doesn't stick, because generally speaking, the bots will hit damage control immediately. If there's a fire, if there's flooding, they hit it right away. So, but I'm getting out of dodge. I have next to no health left. 1 good hit, and that's it. I'm done. Heck, 1 average hit, and that's it, and I'm done. So I'm going to move up here, and I'm going to cap that cap. I can't outshoot him, but I can outrun him easily. In the meantime, in other news, the New York on the minimap, as you see, is moving into range, and they're going to get into a shooting contest down there. New York is healthy. Enemy ship is not. So, moving right along. La 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 la. These are good looking ships. I'm just disappointed in the DPM. I mean, most cruisers are squishy in their own way. These things, no, super squishy. They get some lucky. I've got some lucky bounces, but these are co-op battles. Going to a random like this. Good luck. Okay, the 2 battleships are starting to shoot at each other. And they're going to close the distance. In the meantime, I'm just going to circle around up here. I'm going to cap this one, and then I'm going to head south. But I'm going to head south using the islands, putting the islands between me and that enemy battleship. Because if it comes down to brass tacks and he sinks our New York, I'm going to have to come out and I'm going to have to back cap him. And I don't care if it takes the entire freaking match. I'm not going to get killed by that son of a gun. You can take my word for it. If you're playing one of these Italian cruisers off the tech tree, You can get one shot very easily by any battleship. That's a battle that our New York should win, but I've seen stranger things happen. And what ends up happening is these two guys, they collide. They ram each other. And we win. All right. So that's a victory. Again, this is the alphabet ship. I hope you get early access to it. If not, I hope you get early access to another one. In the meantime, you guys be good to each other and have a great, great day. Bye.